Shalom. First and foremost, call Lord Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect tabernacle of David. So it's the brother Azariah Yah back again with another lesson in the spirit of prophecy, going into the MOT to the B. Okay, so you have this Hill article here, and it says another bank collapse sparks calls for reform. All right, and I believe it was yesterday that J.P. Morgan bought out the First Republic Bank. Now, if you remember back in March, that's when this whole banking crisis began. First with the collapse of the SVB Bank, and then now yesterday with the collapse of the First Republic, and ultimately then being bailed out by the Fed. So we know ultimately that these Edomites, they told you that in June they're going to roll out the Fed Now 24/7 payment system, all right, which is going to be a precursor to the Cbdc, the central bank digital currency. All right, so all of your little external apps that you might use, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, all of that, that's going to be no more. All right, once this Fed Now comes into effect, all the money that you have in your account right now is all going to be funneled through the central bank. All right, so these devils are going to have control over all of your finances. Anything that you pay for, buy and sell, is now it's going to have to go through the Fed. Okay, so they're going to know everything that you do with your money. There is going to be no ATM withdrawals. Physical money is basically being phased out, all right, in favor of this digital system. You see, so this is just one more step towards that. And brothers continue to bring this out because it's a developing prophecy. All right, the prophecy of the mark of the beast. This is not something that you just speak on, once every couple months. Nah, man, because if you're watching and paying attention, then you know that every day, every week, every month, these devils are inching closer and closer through gradualism to bring this whole system through. Okay, so another bank collapse sparks calls for reform. It says here, First Republic Bank, which had $230 billion in assets as of last month on Monday, became the second largest U.S. bank to collapse. The FDIC seized control of the San Francisco-based leader and orchestrated a sale to J.P. Morgan Chase. 3 of the 4 largest bank failures in U.S. history occurred in the last 2 months, after Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank went under. In all 3 cases, the FDIC chose to protect all deposits above the $250,000 insurance limit. All right, so basically what that means is that whoever was banking with SVB, First Republic, if you had above 250, Salakia, if you had above 250,000 in assets in that bank, then they covered you. You know what I'm saying? They basically protected your money. But if you didn't, you basically had to go and take your money out of those banks. You see, and what you have is you have these bigger, more corporate banks taking out the smaller banks. Okay, and then why is that being done? That's being done to consolidate all of these financial centers under one global hegemony. All right, so there is going to be no private banks. Everything is going to be owned by the beast. Okay, owned by the central government. Okay. Using emergency authority to boost confidence in the financial system and quell future bank runs. Okay. The FDIC would need Congress to pass legislation to make any of those changes. Lawmakers last raised the FDIC cap after the 2008 financial crisis. Okay, so that's all we can get out of this. Pretty much, you get the picture. So you're going to see these banks continue to fail. Okay, and even the bank you might be with now, or Bank of America, Truist. Okay, all of these banks are going to switch over unto the Fed Now. And like I mentioned before, all of your money is going to be funneled through the central bank digital currency. So Uh, Now, when it does get to that point, because it is going to come, okay, it is going to come to where uh, the Fed now will be the way to buy and sell. Now, that in and of itself is not the mark. You know what I'm saying? So when that comes about, brothers can still use that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, you're not going off to use the central bank digital currency, because really, I mean, that's out of your control. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna have a choice as to how your money gets transferred. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, when it comes down to the actual mark, which we know is the RFID microchip, right? That's where we got to draw the line. Okay, that's where we got to drop everything, and just let the Lord handle everything. From there. You know what I'm saying? Because once they start talking about, yeah, well, you got to take this in your right hand or in your brain in order to buy and sell, in order to be in the system, and all of this and all of that. That's when brothers and sisters just got to walk away from it all together. But when this digital currency does come, you know, we just use it for a time until the Lord puts a spirit on us to, we don't got to use it no more. You know what I'm saying? So these things are coming down the pipeline very fast. So we just got to keep updating and keep watching these things. All right, let's go here. IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund. So this is the global um, um, prognosticators for world finances. Okay, recognizes CBDCs as the future. So once again, gradualism. They understand, where all of this is going. Well, they know where they want to go with it. Understand? That's why, they're pushing the Fed now. They're Xing out cash because the ultimate goal is for everything to go all digital. Okay. Kristalina Georgieva, a managing director at the International Monetary Fund, acknowledged the importance of central bank digital currencies during a discussion at the Milken Institute Global Conference. According to Georgieva, the IMF is increasing its staff working on digital money as the organization can no longer afford to ignore digital versions of fiat currencies. Georgieva noted that the future of finance was digital even before the pandemic, but the current situation has accelerated its arrival. She explained that about 110 countries are studying CBDCs or preparing for their implementation, and the IMF is engaged in discussions with around 50 of those nations. So, see, according to biblical prophecy, this is going to be a worldwide event. Okay, this is a worldwide transition from physical money to digital money. All right, and as it says, matter of fact, let's just get it in Revelation 13. Okay, and let's start at 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right, now that's really going into AI, okay, artificial intelligence. All right, because we know that right now this devil Esau Edom, he's going crazy with the AI. Like, it's really crazy to see what this AI technology can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can produce, like, let's say that they wanted to accuse you of a crime, but they don't have the evidence. Well, they can use AI to manufacture the evidence and make it look as if you were really in that video or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of power that this devil is using through artificial means. You know what I'm saying? Esau's all into robotics and graphics and all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So all this goes into the image of the beast. Okay, and he's going to give life to the image of the beast through his artificial intelligence. All right. Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, so like I mentioned before, you can use the CBDC, But when it gets to the point where he's like, hey, listen, you got to receive this mark in your right hand or in your forehead, when they want you to take that chip, that's where you got to walk away. All right, that's where you gotta just leave it in the hands of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? At that point, we're not going to be able to operate in this system because we understand that that's going to be the end of it. You know what I'm saying? At least for us, the world is going to follow and take the MOTB so they can continue to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? But destruction is going to come for them shortly thereafter. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, when that Fed now payment comes, hey, it is what it is. But ultimately, don't take the mark. Okay, don't let these devils get under your skin. All right, that's the point. In verse 17, and that no man, okay, so no one upon the earth, all right, might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, so if you don't take the chip, you're not going to be able to buy and sell. And brothers put the video out of the Moabite chick where she got the chip, right? And she was like, "Oh, it's so convenient. I can just wave my hand to pay for things. I can get inside of my building," which they've had this out there for years, but they're pushing it hardcore now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more of a convenience thing. But she was like, "Oh yeah, I can use it to do all this stuff." And then the very next day, when because she warned people about it, like the very next day, she tried to get into an apartment and they locked her out. You know what I'm saying? Because she tried to use her hand to get into the apartment and they locked her out of the apartment. She tried to use her hand to buy food and get gas and she couldn't do nothing. You see, so that's what these devils want, man, full control. And if you speak against them in any kind of way, in any way that they deem is unfavorable, then they can just cut you off. If they don't want you to buy nothing, then they can cut you off. You understand? So it's a completely totalitarian control system. Okay, but it says that no man. All right, so you're gonna have to go through the Cbdc and ultimately that beast number. Okay, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right, and we know that man of sin is Esau Edom. Okay, the Edomites. All right, so where was I at? Let's go back to the IMF. Okay, so this is global. Notice it's going into 110 countries. All right, so you already got Russia, China. You have all the BRICS nations. They're moving away from the dollar currently. All right, and they're moving on to a digital central bank digital currency. So there's going to be different versions. All right, but it is also coming to America as well. All right, the IMF leader differentiated between wholesale CBDCs designed for specific financial institutions and retail CBDCs, which individuals can hold and use. Georgieva said that wholesale CBDCs could be implemented with relatively few surprises, while retail CBDCs could completely transform the financial system with unknown consequences. All right, so countries like the Bahamas and China have already launched CBDC projects, with the Central Bank of the Bahamas introducing the sand dollar in 2020 and China testing digital yuan pilots across several provinces. Georgieva believes that even the U.S., which was initially less interested in CBDCs, will see significant transformations as a result of these digital currencies, and it is going to come because if these, so-called, developing nations or third world, if they have a central bank digital currency, then how much more so America? You think America is just going to let these lesser nations, get up to speed with this new trend and they're going to be left out of it? No. You have to know that these things are going to come, right? In March 2022, President Biden signed an executive order urging the research and development of a U.S. CBDC, although no formal plans have been made for its launch. And that's a lie, all right, because they already came out with it and said that in June or July, sometime, somewhere around that time, which is like next month, that there's going to be the Fed now 24/7 payment system. They're going to implement this thing. Okay, so they do have plans, but they're gonna tell the people that, they want to make it seem as though it's not like an urgent thing. All right, but these devils know that their time is short, so therefore they got to come down with that great wrath. You know what I'm saying? They got to come and do what they got to do. Okay, and here we go. Although no formal plans have been made for its launch in July, the Federal Reserve is set to introduce a real-time payment service, FedNow, which some speculate could be a step towards a CBDC, which it is. Fed Chair Jerome Powell stated that any digital currency launch will require Congress and government approval. Which listen, man, they've already approved it. Okay, like they want to make it seem like this thing is up in the air, like they're not really sure about it. Nah, man, this has always been the agenda. This is why all these banks are collapsing. This is why, these nations around the earth, they're getting away from the dollar. They're getting away from physical money and moving over to the digital system. Okay, this all goes into the prophecy of the mark of the beast. All right. Yeah, let's go here. Okay. Washington let JP Morgan buy First Republic. Okay. It says here, federal regulators wanted a strong deal for First Republic Bank. As a result, they helped America's largest lender get even bigger. Now, who approved of this? The federal government, right? Okay. Washington approved of letting JP Morgan buy First Republic. So once again, central bank digital currency, government centralized. Okay, the beast. Okay, they're taking control of all these private entities and conglomerating them all under a single power structure. All right. JP Morgan Chase beat out bids from at least 3 small peers, according to people familiar with the matter. The bank said it had some 800 people working over the weekend to scour First Republic's books and assess its business. JP Morgan was also the only bank with the appetite to buy substantially all of First Republic at a competitive price. And JP Morgan is one of the biggest banks out there, okay, major corporate banks. All right. So they have a lot of capital to just do as they will, pretty much. The people said, including mortgages that other banks didn't want. That was a priority for the Federal Deposit Insurance Corp because it removed uncertainty over any assets left behind that it would have to sell. Okay? So we don't really got to go into that too deep. I mean, but the point is that the federal government, they're well aware, all right, of what agenda that they want to push. You see? And this is why banks like this are collapsing. It's not a coincidence, okay? It's not a coincidence that in the past 3 months you've had all these bank collapses. It's not a coincidence, man. It's all deliberate, okay? It's all, this is all part of the Great Reset, okay? We can get this and close out. Argentina turns to yuan for imports as dollar reserves decline. Okay, now we know that the BRICS nations, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Those are the original 5 nations. But now you have many more nations that are jumping onto the BRICS. Now they want to join because the world is pretty much getting away from the hegemony of America and the U.S. dollar. All right, so with that, they're looking to jump onto what they deem is going to be the next world superpower, okay, which is China and Russia. See, so many more nations are looking to join this, BRICS expansion. In a strategic move to maintain economic activity without putting pressure on its central bank reserves, Argentina has turned to the Chinese yuan for importing intermediate goods from China. This decision, worth over U.S. 1,040 million this month, was announced by Argentina's Minister of Economy, Sergio Massa, during a conference with the Chinese ambassador to Argentina, Zhu Jiaoli, and other high-ranking officials and businessmen. All right, so in the wake of America pretty much putting sanctions upon Russia for the invasion of Ukraine, you've had all these other nations now come together and say, well, if America has that much power to pretty much cut off Russia from having an economy, then they can do the same with us if we don't do America's bidding. You see, so now the idea is, well, Let us join with Russia and China and the BRICS nations so that we can also have protection from the West. Okay, because America plays pretty much world police. If you don't play ball with America, if you don't get down with America and what they want you to do, then they're gonna sanction you. Okay, they're gonna make you poor. Okay, look at what they've done to Haiti. Okay, look at what they've done to these certain developing nations that don't want to, play ball with America. They've crippled these places, man. You see, so the answer for them is to get with the yuan, get with the certain local digital currencies that they can rely upon. All right, because they know that the fall of America is very near, and they know that once World War Three hits, America is going to be cut off. So America is not going to be a any financial support to these nations. See, so they understand that. Okay. Um, yeah, so I don't really got to get too deep into that, but just know that these other nations, they're getting with the BRICS nations. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on those few topics real quick. Hopefully this lesson was quick, edifying, and to the point. In closing, call hello, Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakadash. And until next time, Shalom to the elect.